Hello, everyone. Welcome to FANFIC Talk Mini, episode 11. Today we're doing a Wallace and Gromit fanfic. It's called Can't Invent Love. Okay, the description is, set a couple weeks after the events of A Matter of Loaf and Death.
I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like your delivery.
Gosh, what's wrong? What's wrong with it?
You're acting like this is. You're acting like this is just a job to you.
This is FANFIC Talk Mini, episode 11, video number 375A. Okay, and we just need to get it done under an hour. That's all we got to do.
Fair enough.
Is that so much to ask?
I was just trying to make this a good time.
Okay, well,
and here you are. You're being a jerk, a Mr. Meanie.
All right, well,
and this is why our viewers are leaving.
Okay, well, and as if they're not going to leave as soon as we start reading this terrible fanfic. Okay, well, what is this? We're talking about Wallace and Gromit today. Just pick that out of a hat, you know. Wallace and Gromit. Why not? We haven't done Wallace and Gromit before. I don't know.
And the story is Can't Invent Love.
Yes. So you're just dragging it out. I liked my delivery personally, but...
Set a couple of weeks after the events of A Matter of Loaf and Death, Wallace considers his life based on from what has happened in previous relationships, that he might be alone forever, and wanders about suicide. Can Gromit talk him out of it?
It's one of those stories. Can Gromit talk him out of it? You're not sure. We're not sure.
Wanders about suicide.
Suicide. Yeah, you didn't really say that, I think, in like the dramatic way they were probably hoping for.
This is kind of
amazing.
Direction I wasn't expecting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've done, it's been a while since we've done like a super dark one like this. They used to happen a lot more often, but I tried to like vary things up usually. But this time around, there was only like 50 Wallace and Gromit fanfics that I could find.
I want the sweet embrace of death, Gromit.
And yeah, so we're just going with a dark story today. We're going to do terrible British accents, because we're both incapable of doing them.
Gromit!
Well, that's not bad.
That's a good dog.
With English accents, I inevitably end up like, it spirals into Scottish.
Shrek.
And then it becomes Shrek. It goes from British to Scottish to Shrek. And Shrek is just extreme Scottish.
Donkey.
I set a couple of weeks after the events of A Matter of Loaf and Death. Wallace considers his life based on from what has happened in previous relationships.
That's what you're in for, everybody.
Oh, jeez.
So if you don't like it when people butcher the British language, the beautiful British language, then maybe you should shut this video off. You probably already have shut this video off.
I'm sure our British audience will love this.
I was gonna say all two of them, but we might literally have no British viewers, so...
But I don't know. I am confident that every single one of our viewers is British.
You think so?
Comment below if you're British.
Yes, please comment below. I don't know, but I feel like there's kind of a stereotype that British people, they're like they're higher class, you know, they have the fancier things in life, the nice stuff. Are they really going to be listening to FANFIC Talk Mini?
Yes.
That's for like, this is for truckers. These are for dirty truckers who want to put on their baseball cap and drive down the highway and need something to listen to.
I think you're selling yourself short.
Well, maybe.
The British love us.
I know nothing about Wallace and Gromit, so it's not like I'm bringing anything to the table.
Over half of our audience is British.
You say so. Maybe this will open up a new market. But brief preface before we start this terrible story. Cheese has watched...
Hey, you can't. You can't just go and call it terrible before we've read it.
I know. It's a bad habit. Cheese recently forced me to watch Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
So good.
Against my will.
It was good. You liked it.
It was okay.
You didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
So I take that as you like it.
I have mixed feelings about Wallace and Gromit.
The beard guy really liked it.
Cheese, have you seen like a lot of the Wallace and Gromit stuff?
I think before that movie, they had just like 3 short films. I don't know if they've made any more after that. So I've seen the 3 short films and then the movie.
Well, Cheese, let me just tell you, you're already wrong. Fake fan, wrong. Because there were 4 short films before Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah? Actually, one of them might have been after, actually. So maybe I might be wrong.
Maybe I'm miscounting. I don't know. Name them off. Name them off right now.
A Grand Day Out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Wrong Trousers.
Oh, The Wrong Trousers. Yeah. That one's so good.
A Close Shave.
You want to watch that?
No. And A Matter of Loaf and Death. Is that the one that you haven't heard of?
I don't know if that one. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Wow. Oh, so go figure. The fanfic we're reading is based off of something that happened in the one short that you didn't know about.
Go and see when it came out.
2008. I have it all pulled up. Jeez, I'm ready.
Okay, well, when
it.
did the movie come out?
Well, I don't know that. Oh,
Well,
gosh.
look it up.
Oh, no. That came out in 2005.
So see when I was right. 3 short films before the actual movie.
What, did you just drop off the Wallace and Gromit franchise after the movie?
Kinda. Well, I mean, any short films, I don't think really probably doesn't make that much of a buzz.
Yeah, I guess not. In preparation for this fanfic, I watched scenes from A Matter of Loaf and Death, and so I can tell you about it. I only watched some of it. Basically, Wallace falls in love with some lady who's selling bread, and for some reason, Wallace and Gromit are bread salesmen now. I don't know.
So good.
And they're throwing bread at people's houses. He falls in love with her, and then it turns out that she's like a serial killer, apparently.
That sounds like Wallace and Gromit.
Does it?
Yeah.
When I just saw that, I was like, what? And then I think she dies.
Oh, God.
And Wallace just immediately like gets over and is just like, all right, time for a pot of tea.
Well, the first one, what was it, Grand Day Out? That one is the one where they go to the moon because they think the moon is made out of cheese.
Famous, world famous, A Grand Day Out.
I think they run into a robot. And I think the robot tries to steal their ship because he wants off the moon.
And is there a point to this?
That's about it.
Why did you feel the need to tell me this very specific plot
I don't know,
point?
the second one, The Wrong Trousers, was where I believe Wallace invented, I don't even know why, he invented like a robotic pair of trousers.
Sure. It's just something different every week for Wallace.
And a penguin showed up at their house, and they let him stay. And it turned out like the penguin was like he was like wanted.
Oh.
For burglary.
Wow, of course.
And he like basically hijacked Wallace's invention of the trousers.
Oh.
And he got Wallace into it, and using the trousers, he controlled Wallace to go and steal like some kind of diamond. And then close shave.
So you're gonna take me through all
I
these?
think it's about a sheep. I just remember there being like a mean dog.
Sure.
And there was something about the sheep and trying to like, I don't remember if they were trying to kill it.
I don't know. Anything's possible
There was
with
something
these
with
two.
the sheep. There's always some dastardly characters. I think my favorite is just the movie though.
Well, so I've seen Wallace and Gromit at its very best then.
It's pretty goofy. And I like goofy
I got pretty scared.
in some ways, maybe.
I think maybe that's the reason I don't like Wallace and Gromit is that it's just too scary.
Well, it's claymation. Claymation can look kind of creepy
We'll
sometimes.
talk about that later, I'm sure. That's one of my big topics.
One of my it has like one of my favorite things. I always love those bad guys that are like kind of goofy and just progressively terrible things just keep happening to them. And like by the end of the movie, they're just manic and kind of crazy.
That happens a lot, huh?
That's a pretty good example.
Wallace and Gromit get into some hairy situations. What can I say? You could say that they get into lots of hairy situations in a close shave. All right, just completely ignore my joke. I'm sure the British audience will appreciate the depth of that joke. So this story is by Tesla2251. Great name. You could just call yourself Tesla. Beats me. Wow, this was written in 2012. Geez, since you're the big Wallace and Gromit head here, I guess you could start us out if you... Oh, that's incredibly rude. I hope that your mic didn't pick that up very loudly.
Oh, it did.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Ignore that. Okay.
Did somebody ring your doorbell?
My mom's trying to call me, but this is more important.
Ew. So start.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm all for it. I hope I don't fall asleep too quickly.
The sun rose over the quiet street in an unknown town just on the other side of the Yorkshire border. All of the buildings on the street looked the same, minus one. 62 West Wallaby Street looked like it was in the process of being torn down or built up.
Is that where Wallace lives?
Wallace, a cheese-loving inventor, lived here with his dog Gromit. The inventor was currently taking down the windmill blades from his old business. Their bakery business had shut down a couple of weeks ago, mostly because Wallace lost interest with it, but this seemed normal for the inventor to switch from one thing to the other. He and his canine companion had been in more than one business before. They had washed windows, caught pets, and recently had delivered bread.
Yeah, that was right.
Both had shut down after he lost interest.
Yeah, jacks of all trades, that Wallace and Gromit duo.
Or is it because I lose interest? He mused to himself. It seemed that whatever business venture he went into, he seemed to run into a lovely young woman, and the relationship never took off ever. Wendeline.
I'm pretty sure it's Wendelin.
Wendelin.
I didn't even watch the movie, and I know that it's Wendelin.
Wendeline had been allergic to cheese, which conflicted with his love of it. Lady Toddington.
Wait, that's the one from the spooky Were-Rabbit movie.
Oh, so they didn't work out? Lady Toddington and him had drifted away, and his last relationship with Piella had nearly killed him. His thoughts were momentarily interrupted by some music coming from the old van. The inventor looked down and saw that his dog Gromit and their recent friend, Fluffles, were listening to some
Who's Fluffles?
love music
But
on
no,
the
you don't
record
continue.
player.
Who's Fluffles?
I have no idea.
What? And you thought you could hide this from me?
I don't know.
This is pathetic. We're reading a Wallace and Gromit fanfic. You're supposed to be the guy.
Why don't you look it
Who's
up?
Fluffles?
I don't know.
This is going off the rails. I don't know who this is.
They held each other's paw and looked at each other with love.
Oh boy, Wallace groaned as he envied his friend's fortune and his own misfortune.
I looked it up. Fluffles is a dog that is in the movie that you did not see. You really should have seen, so you would know these things. It belonged to the serial killer lady, and I guess Wallace just adopted her afterwards.
It's not a movie, it's a short film.
Short film, and I guess he just adopted her.
Gromit found love.
Does it say that?
Yeah, I just read it.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, after dinner, Wallace went right to bed. Gromit noticed this and wondered why. The house had been rebuilt for at least 3 days.
Is he gonna find a noose up in Wallace's room?
I mean, given the subject material of this, that very well could happen. I'm sorry about all the spoilers for this short film that you didn't see, Cheese. Now we know that his house gets destroyed, he adopts a new dog, serial killer enters his life and gets brutally murdered in a hot air balloon. I guess you didn't know that last part. But anyways, whatever. Now you don't have to watch it. During its reconstruction, all three had gone to bed early from exhaustion. Now that the house was rebuilt, there should be no reason for his owner to go to bed early. Fluffles looked at Gromit with a puzzled look on her face. What's wrong? Wait, is someone talking there? Or is this the author? Are they talking without talking? Because Wallace and Gromit don't talk? Is this like psychic communication?
Get on with the story.
Gromit nodded toward the stairs Wallace had gone up. I think something is bothering him. Yeah, I guess this is like psychic conversation. Very interesting.
Jealous of dog love?
Anyways, the puzzled look remained on her face. How do you mean? Gromit pointed to the nearly complete wedge of cheese and the full bag of crackers. Usually they were all gone before the evening was over because his owner ate it all. In all my life here, I've never seen Wallace eat so little cheese. Sometimes he leaves at least a quarter left over, but never this much. Is this why you like these movies so much, Cheese? Is it because this guy likes cheese so much?
No.
That's awfully, big-headed of you, Cheese.
I said no.
The world doesn't revolve around you, and neither does the Wallace and Gromit verse.
No, it's because it's about a guy and a dog, and it's a wholesome friendship.
Oh, okay. But the cheese thing probably helps, too.
It's like, he's supposed to be... I mean, I don't know. The whole joke is that the dog seems smarter than him. He's supposed to be like a genius inventor, but you could see in the movie that even the dog, who still can't talk, was just seeing things that Wallace wasn't, and was always doing a face palm.
Oh, get a load of this guy.
He's pretty much always saving Wallace from his own inventions.
His own incompetence. Fluffles nodded as she understood what Gromit meant. She looked back at the stairs, then back at Gromit. What is bothering him? Gromit shrugged. I don't know. but I will find out. Oh, Gromit, don't go up there.
Oh, boy.
Don't go up there. The next night, Gromit had stayed up later than usual. His eyes sagged with exhaustion as he finished the final page of A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. Ah, man of culture. Dog of culture, rather. He put the book down and started to walk up the stairs to his bedroom. Usually he would pass by Wallace's room and hear the man snoring softly and muttering about cheese in his sleep.
Oh, jeez.
I looked at the next line.
Oh, don't look ahead. This time he saw some light coming from under the door and the sound of sobbing. Oh no. What does Wallace sobbing sound like? He's such a happy-go-lucky guy. I don't know. I've never heard a British person cry, so that's the closest I can imagine.
Gromit frowned and gently reached up to knock on his owner's door. As he knocked, he heard his owner give a startled gasp.
Huh?
And then shuffle around a little before calling out, "Come in, lad."
You're doing better at the voice than I would.
Gromit opened the door. His owner was laying on his bed with a light grin on his face, but it didn't seem genuine. It seemed forced and fake.
This seems like creepy in my mind.
Yeah, a little bit. Me too.
I can just like picture like the fake forced grin.
Like a belt on the floor suspiciously in like a noose shape.
Pay no mind to that.
That's nothing.
We talked about this briefly, that there is a certain like creepiness to claymation. Maybe it's like inherent.
There sure is.
I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's just that in the back of your brain you know that it's real, and
Especially poorly done claymation.
oh sure, which Wallace and Gromit, as far as I saw in the film that you had us watch, it was pretty good. I didn't have any issues with that. I imagine the
Yeah.
first one might be a little rough.
Yeah, that's why it creeped me out when I was a kid.
The first one's like came out in 1989 or something. I imagine they didn't have it completely squared away, we'll say.
Yeah, the first time I ever tried to watch it just creeped me out.
What was your first exposure to it? Did you watch like the shorts first and then the movie, or did you see the movie first?
Well, yeah, I saw the shorts first.
Say like it's just so obvious. Well, obviously, I saw the shorts
Well,
first.
they came out before the movie.
Well, that doesn't mean you see them first.
I mean, I wouldn't have gone to see the movie if I didn't know about the shorts.
Well, I was only partially petrified when the big rabbit showed up in the film. I think more so like the realistic texture of everything. I think part of it like makes me kind of like, I mentioned this in the call, I feel very tired whenever I watch claymation. I don't know if maybe like in the back of my mind I'm just kind of like bored by the fact that I'm seeing something like real, but as if it's like faking being like a cartoon or something. I'm like, well, this isn't a real cartoon, it's just faking it with all this extremely difficult work that takes hours and hours for every individual frame. It's not even real.
That's exactly why I like to watch it, though. It's impressive.
My other theory is
Like, I
that
don't even know how they do that.
oh, sure. I mean, yeah, that's my other theory is that maybe I get tired because I do realize that like every single frame I'm seeing just took so many man hours and so much work and art and craft that maybe I just feel exhausted by it. I'm like, wow, there's so much art going on every second that I can't even keep up, so I'm tired. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Every time I watch claymation, this happens. It just has a very unique vibe to it, I guess.
Hello, Gromit lad. Been up late again? Wait, why is it Gromit's talking?
What? Can
I
you
guess
hear?
that maybe in some weird way, I think Wallace has always kind of seemed to understand what
he
Gromit
intuits
is
it.
trying to say.
Maybe they have like a psychic connection.
So have you. Why? Something wrong? He frowned. Wallace read Gromit's expression.
Oh, there it is.
And turned to face the wall opposite his bed before looking back at his friend. I've just been thinking about our new business. How does, his owner stuttered as he tried to think of something to say. Gromit walked over and sat on the bed. Now that he was closer, he could see that his owner's eyes were red and
Oh
moist.
gosh, it sounds so creepy with claymation. I just picture the wet clay and it's like too
Yeah,
red.
oh,
Oh no.
Not the eyes of someone who had been up for the past few hours working. More like the eyes of someone who had been crying.
Well, that would explain the sobbing sounds from earlier. It's all coming together.
Gromit just frowned at his owner. Wallace understood that his friend didn't believe his lie. He sighed heavily and said, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. No, I've lost the accent.
It's impossible, yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever find the girl of my dreams out there, old chum. He sighed again and added, I mean, I've been in more relationships than I can count, and all I can succeed in doing is getting my heart broken. That was Scottish.
Yeah, I warned everyone that this would happen.
You see, I never actually practice accents that much.
No, they just kind of happen.
He sniffed softly, a tear rolling down his cheek, which he tried to hide from Gromit. Gromit had never seen his owner cry before.
Has Wallace never cried in any of his films?
Not that I remember, no.
Oh, wow. Well, next thing you're going to tell me is that he never tried to kill himself in any of his films, too.
No, he cried in The Were-Rabbit. You weren't paying attention.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I was already asleep by that point.
Gromit, Wallace started to say. He wiped another tear away and continued. I honestly don't think there's much point in going on. If everything I do has to fall apart. I mean, how many businesses have we been in? 100? 200?
Oh, no. Yep, there it is. There's the shift. It's Shrek time.
At least 100, Gromit thought to himself. You think Wallace is gonna kill himself?
Yes. Yes, I do. Clay just splatters all over the wall. Becomes very dark.
And what seems to end them all? A relationship that fails.
Oh,
Wallace said.
Fails spelled incorrectly. That's a failure.
He gave a couple soft sobs before he looked up again. Gromit, sometimes I wonder if I should just kill myself.
There you go.
Or have let Victor shoot me. Or have been turned into dog food. Or have finished Piella's baker's dozen. He groaned sadly and threw himself to the bed.
Wow. Gromus has had a hard life. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just called him Gromus. Wallace has had a hard life. Oh, no.
Just move on.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, what's this guy's name again? Grimace? Grimace has had a hard life.
Groms. The official ice cream flavor for Wallace and Gromit is cookie dough.
Oh. According to whom? Who's the authority on this?
But just, the guys that made it.
The guys who made the films?
Yeah, they said, this is the official ice cream is totally cookie dough.
Where did you get this information?
Well, you see, there's a lot of, tan and brownish colors.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of cookie dough.
Sure.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
I suppose.
So it's Wallace and Gromit.
But you're making it sound like an official source.
It absolutely is.
Oh, is it now?
Yes.
So if I just hop on my mobile phone here and type in Wallace and Gromit cookie dough, I'll just find right away.
Well, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I see... I don't really see much of anything. There's ice cream and...
You might want to keep on scrolling down.
Oh, yeah, I just got to keep scrolling down. Maybe it's on page 3. I don't see anything. Wallace and Gromit.
If you keep scrolling, you'll find
making
it.
all this up.
I've never made up anything in my life.
Fake facts, fake fan. Yeah, the only thing I could find was a character named Montgomery Muzzle.
What?
From the Wallace and Gromit wiki.
Sounds like a dog character.
No, it's a guy. It's a guy with a handlebar mustache, and he kind of looks like Waluigi.
Dear God.
It says he's the main antagonist of episode 3 of Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventures. I didn't realize that it had a little TV show.
Is that the close shave?
No, it's apparently Wallace and Gromit had a TV show series or something. It was
Oh, did it get canceled?
probably. When did this come out? In 2009.
Yeah.
Is this a video game?
The main antagonist.
The main antagonist. Who could forget him? Wallace Wuzzle, whatever his name is. I already forgot him. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a video game. My apologies. I guess you never played it.
I know they made one based off the Were-Rabbit movie.
But you never played that one either?
No.
Well, if you want to play Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventure, you can get it on PC, Xbox 360, and iOS.
Hang on, let me look it up.
Can I just play this on my phone?
Oh my God, I found it.
Yeah. How much is it?
It's $15.
$15? What a steal.
I know. I put it on my wish list.
I went to the App Store and there's an app called Wallace and Gromit. Big Fix-Up.
Oh, it's a Telltale game?
It doesn't say Telltale. It says it's augmented reality. Oh my gosh. You can see Wallace in real life. You can aim your camera around and Wallace is standing in your living room.
Mine says Telltale.
What? Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
This is like a whole rabbit hole. We can't get involved with this right now. We can't.
Oh, yeah, we
can't.
gotta keep going.
This is a whole where rabbit hole, you might say. Okay, just ignoring my other joke. The British people wouldn't ignore my jokes.
I don't need this.
Gromit was shocked by what the inventor had just said. His ears stood straight up, and he felt slightly sick in his stomach to think of the thought of his owner killing himself. He didn't want to even think about it. Wallace looked at his friend, knew what he said had upset his friend, and sighed. Uh-oh, now I have to try it. I'm sorry I said that, old chum, but...
It's already Scottish.
But that is the way I feel right now. You see, shaking back his soul.
See, now that's British, if ever I've heard British. Gromit looked at his owner with tears in his own eyes.
No, they need to stop crying.
There's a lot of tears going on here. I don't know if this much water is good for clay.
Yeah.
You're gonna get like watered down and just become like masses, puddly little goop masses on the floor. His ears droop down low, and he seems close to crying. I can't lose someone else. I lost my parents when I was young. Too young to know them. Is this true? Jeez, is this actual Gromit lore?
I have no idea.
All right. Oh boy.
I think this guy's just making it up.
Oh yeah. Just like your cookie dough fact from earlier.
No, that's real.
Too young to know them. You're the only person who has been chosen. Oh, you're the only person who has been close to a father figure. I thought it was saying like Wallace had been the chosen.
Chosen.
I chose you,
Chosen
Wallace. You were the chosen one, Wallace.
I hate you.
You were supposed to capture the were-rabbit, not become one.
Don't try it, Wallace.
You underestimate my power, Gromit.
You're the only person who's been close to a father figure, and I owe you everything. If you left, it would be my first moments on Earth all over again. His expression read. How do you even express that?
I don't know.
They have a very tight bond. Wallace understood his friend's expression. He sat up and said, I'm sorry, Gromit. It's just, I've been alone my entire life. I haven't found someone to love. I've just given up on the British thing. He paused for a moment before asking, Tell me, lad, what was it like when you first saw Fluffles?
Dear God.
Oh, they're bonding over their love.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I guess this is like serious. I can't believe someone actually wrote like a serious suicide-related Wallace and Gromit fanfic. I thought this was gonna be a joke.
What was it like the first time you saw Fluffles?
I think that this is a self-insert.
Oh yeah, the writer of this story never found love, and now they're feeling down, and they're thinking, well, Gromit's pretty smart. What would Gromit tell me to do? He found love. This requires a better form of communication, Gromit thought. What? He picked up his owner's sketch pad and started to write. Oh, okay. Like, time stopped for a moment. At first, I didn't think she had... okay, you wrote all this. Like, time stopped for a moment. At first, I didn't think she held any interest in me at all. It was when she showed up with me... stuff. Oh, he also has a British accent, I guess. I never thought of that. He is a British dog. He would have a British accent. It was when she showed up with me stuff that Piella had thrown out, and how we were connected through just a couple moments of silence. He paused, then added, her sweet giggle, a giggling dog, and smile when we looked at one of my records. Titled, Puppy Love, kinda gave me the impression she had an interest in me. It's hard to describe the feeling, but you just feel it happen. He then looked over at his owner, who'd been following his written monologue word for word. His expression said the rest. Finding love is something that takes time. It can't be rushed. Gromit then frowned a little, but it is nothing to fret over. Certainly not something to kill yourself over. Wallace gave a small nod and smiled.
You're right, Gromit lad. Okay, so I haven't found the one for me heart yet, but she is out there, and I will find her,
he said cheerfully. He then gave his friend a hug.
Thanks, lad.
Wow, it's like a really touching moment, Cheese. Do you feel touched?
I don't see why this was a story that needed to be told with Wallace and Gromit.
I don't see why this is a story that needed to be told, like, period.
Self-insert.
Yeah, self-insert, it does explain quite a bit. I guess this is just for, there are 7 reviews to this story, so maybe we'll read those later and we'll find lots of people like, I've been in the same boat as Wallace. And suicide wasn't the answer then either.
My dog talked me out of it.
Completely lost touch with reality. I named my dog Gromit.
Don't be surprised if I do that someday.
Name a dog Gromit? Or threaten to kill yourself only to be talked out of it by your
Gromit.
dog? Okay. I was worried about it being the second one. I'm sure there are lots of dogs named Gromit. I mean, I'm wondering, I don't know how popular Wallace and Gromit is here versus, wherever it's from. I don't know if it's like from England or something.
I mean,
I assume
it's
it
a
is.
British thing.
British, yeah. So I'd assume that it's probably bigger there. I'm wondering if it's like huge. Like if we went over there and started talking about Wallace and Gromit.
It's huge. There's Wallace and Gromit merch everywhere.
Yeah.
Billboards.
It's the equivalent of like
Statues.
over here we have the Marvel movies, but over there they have Wallace and Gromit, and it's huge.
Over in Britain, there's just another entire just universe of Wallace and Gromit that we don't even know about. Like it has its own end game arc.
Exactly.
Dear God.
They have monuments to Wallace and Gromit, the Great Tower of Wallace.
Is there Wallace and Gromit? It'd be inventors assemble.
Oh, very good, very good. And Gromit, it's like the Tony Stark of the group. I don't know what on earth Wallace is.
No, probably Wallace would be.
You think Wallace would be the Tony Stark?
Gromit's the sidekick.
You just call him Gromit?
No. This is secretly smarter than Wallace.
In the end, they come to blows. It turns into civil war. They turn against each other.
Wallace and Gromit civil war. No.
Man, now I'm really into this. We need to go to Great Britain sometime. All right, I guess you can continue. Let's see how this ends. Personally, I think that Wallace's time is limited. I don't think he's going to make it to the end of this story.
He's got a brain tumor.
Gromit, I have a brain tumor. It's malignant, Gromit. I don't have another month to live. I can't find love in a month, Gromit.
Dear
Sorry.
God.
This is this is the direction we would have taken the story. But no, since this is supposed to be a real story, I'm sure Wallace will be like, you're right. I guess he already did, so.
Gromit smiled and hugged his owner back. He looked at the clock on Wallace's nightstand. It was after midnight. Wallace followed his gaze. Oh my, we've been up too late. We should get to bed, Wallace said, quickly making himself comfortable in his bed. Gromit gave a sleepy smile and got up. As he was about to close the door, Wallace gave a small smile and said, Good night, Gromit. Pleasant dreams.
I don't know if it'd be easy to sleep after your owner just talked about how he wants to kill himself. But whatever. Pleasant dreams, lad.
Gromit smiled.
He's called him Grimmit?
No.
Grimmick, Grimace, Gromus.
Stop it.
Grimace.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop it.
Sorry. I ruined everything.
You made me snap.
Sorry.
You have to ruin everything.
You ruined Wallace and Gromit for me. We were hoping that English people would listen to this episode and kind of become fans, but after all, our terrible accents, our comments about the series, and us just making fun of the story, that they're gonna hate us. We're gonna lose all our subscribers.
They're gonna leave comments and say, "You guys should kill yourselves."
Ooh.
And I'm gonna say, "You're right."
Well, you have dogs to talk you out of it. I don't, so I might be in trouble.
Gromit smiled and sleepily made his way to his room. While he walked, he took time to realize a part of his known world had changed. Oh, yeah?
My owner is suicidal.
As he crawled into bed, Fluffles opened an eye and looked at him. Where were you? Gromit tucked himself in and looked at her. I'll tell you in the morning. Right now, I am very tired. Fluffles nodded and laid back down, snuggling closer to Gromit, who smiled in his sleep and hugged her closer.
Meanwhile, Wallace is sleeping alone in the next room. Alone. Cold. Alone. Alone as ever.
I'm alone.
It's not... Yeah, I thought maybe, when I first was thinking about how the story would end, I thought maybe Gromit would, find some match for him or something. All Gromit really does is just, yeah, it happens. And then leaves. And Wallace... I was like, okay.
I'm looking at the reviews.
Yes, 7 reviews. The first one, of course... A positive review.
Well written.
Yes, from John Lum himself. Wow.
Oh my God.
See something you are interested in, Chief?
I feel like I just found why you chose this.
I didn't read any of these.
Somebody named Cheese left a comment.
Cheese, is this you from
It says,
2017?
it is so cool.
You thought it was so cool.
I didn't do that. It's not me.
There's no profile picture
It's not
attached.
me.
I'm very dubious.
No, it's not me.
It's so cool.
It's not me.
Well, let's see what. There's also a comment from a guest that says, "Suicide, a thought that can never go away after you've been upset emotionally by things. I'm actually suicidal because I hate the inappropriate side of the internet."
Oh God.
What? That's what? Okay, I shouldn't shame anyone. It's a very serious mental illness. Oh no. Way to bring down the mood, guest.
No comment.
No comment, no comment. No, really. As strange as it sounds, that is the reason why I'm suicidal. Speaking of which, I'm surprised Wallace didn't have suicidal thoughts in A Close Shave, when Gwendolyn told him to stay away from her silly windows, when Gromit was in jail. Also, Gromit looked a little depressed and sort of suicidal in the actual Loaf of the Death film near the end. Meh, still a good fanfic. Kind of sad, but meh. Yeah, you're speaking nonsense, guest. He got sad for like a second. I watched the scene, and then immediately afterwards, he's like, "Time for a spot of tea, Gromit," and walked away. I don't think he was suicidal. I think you're projecting. Thank you for your comment.
I love your history. It was very touching, and Gromit, I help Wallace to not kill. The truth Wallace had been with Lady Toddington make a lovely couple. In fact, I think Lady Toddington and Fluffles would be a very good friends between girls. Understand, right?
What? I don't understand,
good
right?
command, a hug, and a great greeting from Mexico. Adios.
That's not how you say adios. This is a fake Mexican person. The next guy says this was very cool. Oh boy. And, oh, hey, hang on. This next comment's a little critical, Cheese. It says, "First off, I would like to say that this was a beautiful story." Okay, well, that's not critical, but this next part, even though I couldn't imagine for 1 second that Wallace would feel like that, it fitted nicely. Well done. Well, it wasn't as critical as I thought. I mean, I think you're right. This is a very strange thing to bring to Wallace and Gromit. Wallace just seems like the eternal optimist. So, I don't know. This is like bringing suicide into, like, Care Bears or something. I don't know if it really fits. Don't you worry, Wallace. You'll find the right woman someday, and Gromit will be right by your side to help you. You're not real.
Oh boy.
You're not real.
My wee man.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right, thank you for listening to this episode 11 of Fanfic Talk Mini, the Wallace and Gromit episode. Thank you for listening. Have a good night. Goodbye. No, we can't end it there. We have to review it ourselves, Cheese.
Yeah.
Are there any final thoughts that you have about Wallace and Gromit, Cheese? Anything you want to get off your chest about Wallace and Gromit? Wasn't there supposed to be like another film coming out?
Next year, I think.
I guess you'll probably force us to watch that.
I know there's supposed to be a Chicken Run 2 coming out. I already heard it was bad. I might still want to watch it though.
I did watch the first Chicken Run like a few times. That's my main exposure to claymation is Chicken Run. But for this next Wallace and Gromit film, Cheese, what are you looking forward to most? Like what kind of things do you want to see?
I want to see a Wallace and Gromit that takes place in like medieval times.
Sure, why not? They make a time machine. I could see that.
I want to see Wallace ride a horse.
Yeah. Whoa there! Whoa!
He goes jousting.
No, I could see that. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit go time traveling. Make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, Wallace can make a time machine. I mean, if anybody can, it's him.
He's the tormented genius of the Wallaceverse. Maybe this film will get you back into the franchise.
Now I'm just imagining what Wallace's voice would sound like in Banjo-Kazooie.
You gotta like insert "lod" in there sometimes. Great cheese, what? And don't forget Gromit's voice in Banjo-Kazooie. Perfect. Well, here's hoping that the next Wallace and Gromit film isn't terrible. And that doesn't make you, like, lose your faith in the franchise?
Like Chicken Run 2 supposedly
Yes, supposedly.
I haven't seen it.
To verify that at a later time. Next episode of Fanfic Talk Mini, Chicken Run. Look out for it. We're going to know even less about it.
It's about chickens that run.
Yeah. Just aimless conjecture about what the new film was. None of us saw it. That's what this show is all about.
It's just conjecture, dude.
Just aimless conjecture. That's all you've been listening to this whole time. I hope you didn't take this too seriously. Imagine if somebody like listened to this because they were hoping that we would have like really deep thoughts about the intricacies of suicide and finding love.
Then they obviously don't know us.
Yeah, we need to come up with something funny to end this episode with, because episodes can't end without something funny happening.
Quick, tell a joke. Tell one of your famous jokes.
Okay, all right. What is Wallace's favorite letter of the alphabet?
T.
No. W, of course. You idiot.